Let's go to Sugar Shane Mosely, who is going to be on the next couple of episodes of Real Husbands of Hollywood. This is our good friend Kevin Hart, who comes in here all the time. This is his show, and I haven't actually seen this. Sugar Shane, is this show pretty good? I haven't seen an episode of this yet.
Oh no, it's real good. It's gonna be hilarious. I mean, just me watching the show as I'm sitting in from the outside, looking inside. Hilarious.
And this is sort of the setup of what Kevin Hart is doing with this show. It's kind of a spoof on shows like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or whatever, right? So I mean, it's not like you guys are being serious. This is all a spoof of a reality show, correct?
Right. It's like a spoof of it. Just basically kind of making fun of it. I guess the reality shows, the real wives, the basketball wives.
Yeah.
So it's but it's real funny. Like Kevin is hilarious, and in every scene. So our scene is even funny. Sometimes I had to catch myself from laughing because of the things Kevin would do.
And don't you fight him in one of these episodes?
Yeah. We actually we have a press conference, and then we have an actual fight. And, it's funny.
Which is funny because Kevin Hart is about 4 feet tall. How big of a guy are you, Shane? Because when you see boxers or athletes on television, it's hard to judge. How tall are you?
I'm short. I'm like 5. I'm 5'9", but
that's the average height of a guy.
Yeah, I mean when I fought Shaq on Shaq versus. I felt so small. I felt like I was the smallest man.
Everyone feels small next to Shaq. When you were a kid, were you a small kid when you were growing up?
Yeah. I was too short, kind of thin, kind of skinny.
Did people pick on you when you were young and little?
No, because I boxed and I was very energetic. I was very hyper. When I first had my first fight, I was 55 pounds.
Oh, my God, you're kidding me. 55 pounds. How old were you at that point?
8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So I fought at a very young age. And, when I was in elementary or, junior high school or high school, nobody picked with me because I knew how to fight.
Who got you into boxing?
Actually, it was my mother. My mother, just wanted me to burn some energy, get out of the house because I had so much energy. And she told my father, take your son to the gym with you so he can, so he can at least try to go to sleep, late at night. So I went to the gym, started training, and I loved it.
I mean, I don't know how you boxers, honestly, I love boxing. I don't know how you guys get in there and do that. I'm such a pussy. I'd take one hit from a guy. I would quit. When you get hit, I've talked to boxers before. They say they enjoy getting hit. You don't enjoy that, do you?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll get in there and I want to feel the contact, and it's not like it doesn't really hurt. It's just contact, like when you get hit with a good shot, you know that you made the wrong move.
How does that not hurt? Is that just through years and years of training that you get used to it, or how does it not hurt?
I think it's from years and years of being used to it. It's kind of like the football players, even the soccer players, when they get kicked in the shin,
Yeah.
They have to be used to that type of stuff. So I just think that your body builds up a defense, and you get used to it.
I mean, that's crazy because I see these matches and guys are getting rattled in there, and I go, I don't even know how these guys forget even getting hit. I've been in fights before, just like out on the street, Shane.
Uh-huh.
And after about, in my mind, that fight lasted 10 minutes, but in reality is about 20 seconds. And afterwards, I'm winded and sore, and I don't know how you guys are doing that for 12 rounds. If fights used to be 15 rounds. If a fight wasn't 12 rounds, how long do you think you could physically keep going, do you think, in a fight?
I can go for a long time. I mean, I just sparred 8 rounds with Kendall Holt. He's getting ready to fight for a world title against Lamont Peterson. So, I can go a long time.
I mean, if they said a 20-round fight, you think you'd be able to do that?
Yeah. I'm that type of fighter that would be able to do it.
Wow, that's crazy. You've fought all sorts of guys. You've beat guys. You've lost to guys. Who is the best fighter that you ever faced, Sugar Shane?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say the best fighter because there's so many great fighters out there. I mean, Vernon Forrest was a good fighter. Winky Wright was great. Mayweather and Pacquiao were also great fighters. Oscar De La Hoya, great fighter, especially when I fought him at that time.
Are there guys that maybe, you could be a great fighter, but does everyone have that one guy out there that you could be the best fighter in the world, but one guy can take you down somehow? Is there someone like that for every fighter?
There's always one guy that give you the most problems. The styles make fights, so you have to be careful. I mean, if you train hard enough and you do your homework, and you can pretty much beat a lot of guys. But there's just a guy that it's just like your nemesis. It's always going to be a problem.
And he may not even be able to beat anyone else, but he for whatever reason can just take you. He has your number for some reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Marquez and the Pacquiao thing. I mean, they both fought each other real well. I mean, Pacquiao might be able to go on and fight Mayweather and be good, but Mayweather dominated Marquez.
Who do you think is better, Pacquiao or Mayweather?
Well, personally, I thought Mayweather was going to be the victor in that fight when they fought, just from style, but and the height and style. But you never know. Mayweather has problems with southpaws. He doesn't like to fight southpaws as much.
Sugar Shane Mosely is on with us. He's going to be on Real Husbands of Hollywood, which is 10 o'clock on BET tonight. And next week, that airs next Tuesday, the 12th, also 10 o'clock on BET. There's been a lot of stuff in the news about this Lance Armstrong guy who doped and cheated during the Tour de France. How is boxing? I know that you were involved in the Balco scandal, which people remember was the Barry Bonds company. How is it prevalent in boxing? It certainly may have been back at that time. What is it like today? Is there a lot of performance-enhancing doping going on in boxing, do you think?
No, I don't think it doesn't really translate too good in boxing, I don't think. And also, I don't think the fighters really know about those type of things and won't really get into it because it's not something that, like, for a fighter, you don't need to be strong. Fighting is really mental. It's really like a sweet science. So to be bigger and stronger doesn't make you hit harder. It doesn't make you any better.
So you don't think that the steroids would enhance the performance of a boxer?
It might enhance some things, but I really myself don't think so. I mean, I can lift weights. When I lifted a whole bunch of weights, I lost my power. My punching power. When I stopped lifting weights, I started hitting harder. Really?
Is that just because of flexibility and agility, or why is it?
I think it's because of the flexibility and the agility, and it seems like I have more wind. I can move better. I'm more sharper. I focus better. It's just better for me. The whole thing with a lot of fighters, they get when they have these sports trainers and stuff. They're coming in from, I guess, baseball or wherever they're coming from. They like to come in with their style and their idea, and try to enhance the fighter in different ways. But not all the time it works. I think that staying old school and doing the thing, the push-ups, the setups, the pull-ups, stuff like that works for the fighter because, like you said, keeps the flexibility, keeps the power, keeps everything natural. That's the best way.
Now, let's talk about cheating in other ways. You were in a fight. I think it was Antonio Margarito. Mm-hmm. And what happened in that? His trainer put some sort of plaster on the wraps before he put on the gloves? Or what was that?
There again, it's always the trainer that's trying to go in. The fighter just goes in and fights, What he was doing was he was trying to protect Antonio Margarito's knuckles by putting a little bit of the whole wrap wasn't a plaster pair, but it was the knuckle pads that were plaster pair to mold around his knuckles.
But if he were to go and hit you with that, it would hurt you more, right?
It probably would have stung a little more, yeah.
And then your guy saw that, and then they had to rewrap this guy's hands. So you don't think that Margarito was trying to cheat? You think that it was just his trainer doing it?
I think that Margarito, knew what was going on, but I think that his trainer was trying to get the upper hand, and and what he said, tried to protect his knuckles. Like, I know the trainer, firsthand, so it was kind of weird, to see him again and be like, you're trying to put knuckle pads in Margarito's gloves. It's not.
Have you ever fought a guy where you thought, man, this guy, I wonder if there is some sort of cheating going on, either with performance-enhancing drugs or that, he has something funny going on with the reps? Have you ever thought during a fight that, this just doesn't seem right to me?
Yeah, well, I fought Pacquiao.
Really?
Yeah, but that's just because, I know what type of punch I take. I take a great punch.
Yeah.
And Pacquiao knocked me down, and, I was really dazed a little bit. I'm like, wow, I've never been dazed, especially by someone smaller than me. And I go in there with like heavyweights, and they can hit me, and I'm good. But like I said, with Pacquiao, I think that he has a special way of punching. I think he punches differently, meaning they have the different style, like the karate punch or whatever, where they punch bricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's doing. But the punch, it didn't feel heavy or hard. His hands felt different.
Just something weird was going on with that.
Something weird. It felt different than any other punch I felt. So.
How many women do boxers get out of all the athletes? Who gets the most women? Are boxers up there amongst football players, basketball players?
Boxers. It depends, but I think basketball players get a lot. I think the basketball and football players get a lot of women because they travel from city to city to city to state. Boxers, we pretty much box in Vegas, pretty much stationary. So.
Yeah, and you may only fight twice a year or something, where these basketball players are out all the time.
That's true.
Are you married, Shane?
No, I'm not married.
No, so you're a single guy. So you're out. Do you have a girlfriend or anything now?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend.
Oh man, oh boy. Well, this show, I take it you're proud of doing this appearance on Real Husbands of Hollywood. And is this something we're going to see more of, Sugar Shane Mosely getting out there and doing stuff on television? Or do you want to do stuff like that?
Yeah, I like doing stuff like this. I know the producers. I know a lot of the actors, and I'm friends with Kevin and Nick Cannon and Robin Thicke and all those guys are on there. JB, I know those guys personally, so going on the show is kind of like just having fun.
Do you think out of all, before I let you go, do you think anything boxers when they retire, they get out of the business? Do you think that you've suffered any ill effects mentally from all the hard hits that you've taken? There's a big controversy in football right now with the concussions that guys get and how damaging it is to their brain in the long run. What about boxers? We know famously Muhammad Ali and things like that, but what about you personally? Do you feel any effects of the years of brutal hits that you would take?
Actually, me, I don't. I don't feel the effects right now. I feel great. I think that boxing basically kind of like saves my life because I couldn't think of anything else other to do than to be a boxer and be in the boxing world. My son is actually boxing right now, and he's hopefully getting ready to go to the Olympics and then turn pro as well. So he's doing real good. He goes to the gym with me every day. I have fun going to the gym with him and training, sparring with him, watching him spar, watching him grow up in the boxing world. I think that a lot of the fighters, football players, and athletes that get this type of concussion and brain damage and stuff like that is because of the things they do outside their sport, meaning the partying, the drinking. He spoke about the women and all that stuff, and then they enter the ring or they enter their field, football or whatever they're doing, a little drunk, a little bit maybe drugs or something, and then that's how they get the brain damage, start slurring more or whatever. So I think that what they do outside their sport and then they bring it into the sport, it kind of messes up their. Did
you drink or anything when you're fighting? Did you? Not obviously right before, but would you go out and party or did you live a super clean lifestyle?
I lived a pretty clean clean lifestyle, and I knew when to drink and when not to. But I wouldn't say that I didn't drink. New Year's and special occasions, stuff like that. I would. But right now, at my age, I don't. I'm not drinking anything.
Are you more nervous watching your son fight than you were ever nervous getting into a ring? Is it harder to watch your son do it?
It used to be. I used to be nervous watching, but now I'm not, because I know that he knows how to handle himself. I know that he is. He's getting better. He's getting good. He loves to fight. He's going to be a good entertainer when he gets in there. He's going to be one of the tops, one of the best.
Well, Sugar Shane Mosely going to be on Real Husbands of Hollywood tonight, 10 o'clock BET, and next Tuesday, another episode with Sugar Shane Mosely, 10 o'clock on BET. Hey, man, I appreciate coming on the show, Shane.
Hey, no problem. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Sugar Shane Mosely.